My name's Peter Hope. I'm a Kiwifruit and avocado orchardist, and we also manage 3 other orchards, 16A, G9 and G3.
I'm Peter Lecoque, and I'm an orchardist with Kiwifruit, gold, green and a few avocados.
My name's Dave Babington. I'm an orchard manager on a 4-hectare Kiwifruit orchard in Katikati.
Name's Rob Bailey, and I live in Te Puke obviously, and orcharding's been my life following my granddad, who's Jim McLaughlin, the father of the industry. So it's sort of been in the blood for a few years.
My name is Fred Harvey. I've got an orchard in Te Puke, Rangiu Road, and I've been here for 32 years.
Kia ora, first and foremost, my name is Brendan Taingahui. I'm a manager of Tau Whaotingari Trust. We're currently on Rangiwai Island in the Tauranga Harbour.
My name's Willie. I've got a 5-hectare orchard, 2 hectares of gold and 3 hectares of green.
I have a Bachelor of Agricultural Science from Massey University, and on leaving university I worked for 7 years as a Farm Advisory Officer for the Ministry of Agriculture. And in 1979 I came to Katikati and developed a Kiwifruit orchard, and subsequently set up Ongateti Cool Stores Limited.
I'm probably considered to be a reasonably large-scale orchardist.
The first time I heard about Agrizest was through another fellow grower, Peter Lecoque, who coincidentally heard it through another grower, Peter Hope. He spoke of its praises. He saw immediate results on the health of his vines. I looked as a grower, saw his vines, and I was convinced.
Well, strangely enough, I had only owned the orchard I have at the moment for a couple of years, and I got to know my neighbour very well, Peter Hope, and he recommended this stuff to me, and I thought, oh well, I'd seen the evidence on his plants because he started a year before me, and I thought, hey, I've got to have a bit of this, I'm going to give it a go.
We first heard about Agrizest from a horticulturist from Te Puna because the previous year we had girdled and the vine just went belly up, went sick, yellow, small leaves. We popped in to see this particular chap, and he gave us a pamphlet and said, try this. His exact words were, I don't know how it works, but it works. So we stuck it on our vines, and a week later they went from pale yellow little leaves to bright green. By the end of the year the leaves had grown the same as the rest of the orchard, and that was in 2007, so we've been using it ever since.
I think it was back in about 2006, one of my staff attended a seminar that was put on by Nathan Balasingham, and he came back to me and he said he thought that Nathan might have something here, because both the staff person and I had been to Massey together. So I looked at some of the results that he had and that he'd presented, and we were quite interested. We could see that there was some lift in production, and knowing Nathan as a scientist and understanding how he presented his results, I had some faith in them.
We've been doing some work previously with Nathan when he was with May and Bayer, I think, on the fungicide trials. So, and it was at Massey that I got really interested in this whole, because I understand the Agrizest comes from the Genome Project, so I was always interested in that side of things, that we could elicit vines and sort of spark them into better health under stress situations.
I really wanted to maximise returns, so I was looking for different ways to do that, whether it be through physical labour or whether it be through application of a product.
What I'd heard about Agrizest, like the people that I'd made contact with, it was very, they were good comments, fitted the profile that I wanted, first and foremost, which was plant health and well-being.
I heard of Agrizest essentially by word of mouth. Another grower, Russell Baker, had undertaken a summer grafting trial as well with G3, and he had suggested that on one of our split block trials it would be worth trying a New Zealand made product that had proven to be successful, not just in New Zealand but also in Italy, and that it was a foliar and essentially acted as a growth promotant but also as an elicitor, and that in general it was something that would probably enhance the vine health and give us an opportunity of seeing how it compared with other products that were being recommended. So we did that. It was a 1 hectare block. We did a split block trial, and I guess we're happy to tell our story by word of mouth as well.
I first read about Agrizest about 2.5 years ago. To start with, I basically ignored it because I did not know much about it, and then something prompted me to ring Nathan up in Auckland. After speaking to Nathan about the product, I then decided to do some of my own investigation into the product, and from there it just the journey evolved down the road for me to use it.
We were able to go and talk to other growers, a guy, Peter Hope, in Katikati. Went and sat down with Peter. He welcomed us into his orchard and walked his orchard, had a robust discussion about it and about the product Agrizest, and everything just seemed to fit the right profile for me personally.
So we decided we would go down this biological path. We had nothing to lose.
Well, we figured we had nothing to lose and everything to gain, so we just thought, well, we'll try it. And, it wasn't going to cost a lot. So put it on at work, kept using it ever since. 6 years later, still going.
The chosen foliar was Agrizest because we had experimented with it on another split block trial the previous year to see if we could prove on the orchards whether it had any benefit with our 16A crops, and it did.
We did some on 16A, which we did some measured trial work on, but in the same year also put it on some split blocks in the green as well.
I tried it out 3 seasons ago. This is my 3rd season running it. The orchard that I have here is quite a windy orchard, gold and 16A and G9. So I applied the recommended program of 4 sprays, and the results were immediate. The vine, leaf, overall health was just phenomenal. That just came out of nowhere, really. Very impressive.
We were spraying it foliar, so we were just splitting the blocks up so that we could, we could definitely confirm that we were getting a result.
The leaf just started glowing. You just saw the orchard just glowing with health. I mean, the vine, the leaves, vibrant, dark green, shiny, big leaves. I mean, they're the engine room of your plant. And if you've got healthy leaves, well, then you should have a healthier plant. So that was immediate, an immediate result.
I think the first year we produced, same as our own orchard, we produced about 6,000 trays a hectare. The second year was up between 8 and 9, and the third year was over to 10. And we've been there pretty much the 4th year as well, so this year looks exactly the same.
As far as tray numbers go, I was doing around the 10,000 per hectare. Last year I got 14 on my green, which was very, very good.
The results speak for themselves, I guess, with the just with it, because you can't. The pack outs tells the story. And we got increased pack outs and increase in size, and I think the big thing was the health of the vine. We reckon we were getting healthier leaves, could handle it better if they had been thrashed around in the wind.
What I also saw was just an increased health of the fruit. They just had less pest damage.
A lot of growers that I know of with 16A are already pulling out car trailer loads a day of dead and dying stuff, and we're just not doing that. We're just seeing a little bit here and a little bit there. It's just not happening. The plant's battling on through it.
I lost 0.02% of my gold, which was the lowest in the pack house, and I would accredit a lot of that to just what effect Agrizest has on the plant and the plant health.
And size 30 on my green, and as I said before, 27 on the gold, and once again, really good cool store keeping.
Larger, fuller leaf size, which in the years since I've used the product has been replicated. Usually end up with a larger, fuller, darker green leaf, some stronger cane, a little bit prone to some wind up here at times, so less breakout.
Well, I'd be putting it on every hectare of gold I have, but I don't have any at this stage. I'm using it on the green, and I'm doing 2 applications before flowering and 2 after.
It continued on from there really, through to harvest, where was a marked difference in fruit size, yield, and we tracked it all the way through to storage. Better storage, better pack outs, better dry matter, better financial return on those blocks that we treated for those 2 sprays, pre and post, and in all other respects we treated the blocks the same.
It more well and truly pays for itself by the size of the fruit. Before Agrizest, we never had fruit like that, on that size. It's only in the last 4 or 5 years we've been getting big fruit.
We're using Agrizest and Biozest on the grafts, and I'm using that instead of copper-based sprays that others may be using.
I found that what Nathan had told me would happen, did happen.
We had better bud break and better floral initiation the following year. And I noticed, particularly in the colder orchards, how the leaf size was much better in the early spring and the vines looked a lot healthier.
The first year there was a slight change, but the big change came the next year with the orchard. I got much higher dry matter. I have never got into the Y band, and this year I was in the Y band without any trunk girdling.
I was very happy. Bearing in mind that I'd seen the worst of the effects of copper spraying, and it was actually quite a pleasure to come into the orchard and see a lot of the lush shoots coming away. Now that we've got, we're into pollination now, and we've got one noticeable effect I had when we're spraying copper all the time was small diameter leaves. Whereas now we've got big, dinner plate size leaf, nice green lush leaf area, which can only be good for plant health.
On this vine here, it's got PSA. You can see by the little wee spots on the leaves and that. Those leaves are still nice and crunchy, and also nice and crunchy, but they spring back. And with the vines where I have not sprayed Agrizest on, as soon as I squeeze the leaf just goes brittle and then falls away. But those leaves are nice and healthy. They're nice and green, nice and big, and they've got a nice bright tinge to them.
I think as far as Agrizest goes, the thing that we've noticed the most, the one thing that stands out is how quickly the canopy develops. And I've had so many people come into the Gold Orchard and just go, wow, look at the canopy. And that's the early development of the leaves. And I think that's why we've been averaging 27 count size fruit for the last few years, which is, we're trying to get that size down a bit by growing more and more fruit, but it's just what the plant delivers every year.
The treated block on the gold was marked difference. It was about $17,500 a hectare.
We got something in excess of $50,000 per canopy hectare orchard gate return per hectare, which is very good for a green crop, and we're very happy with that.
There's a lot of products out there that we've tried over the many years, that 30 years we've been in Kiwifruit. We've tried lots of different products, we've discarded them all. This is the only one we've never discarded, because you can actually see the difference.
I see it as an important tool for the future. PSA's changed our lives forever as growers, and it is definitely a tool in that PSA toolbox.
It's amazing where the Italians were trialling it and had accepted it, but we have not here accepted like they have.
So yeah, no, I think we've found a winner in the product.
And I know if I'm growing gold again, every hectare that I grow will be having Agrizest applied to it, no doubt. I mean, the cost is negligible when you consider what you can gain out of it.
It's a natural product. You can't do any harm with Agrizest. I feel more confident as a grower because I'm using something that I can truly believe in, that's locally manufactured, and I have a direct contact with the manufacturer, so it's a very personal journey, if you will.
I think Agrizest's a good product, and I'm happy to endorse it.
I have to say that the process that we've gone down using biologicals, of which Agrizest is a critical part of that, has to date been successful, and I don't expect that the race is going to be an easy one, but I think in terms of the industry for us, it means that we will survive.
Peter Hope has really done me a big favour. And I think, well, if I can pass it on to other people, definitely yes.